Good morning, Stampers. This is Becky Hahn at beckystampingstudio.blogspot.com in Davenport, Iowa. It's Friday, so it's Friday Fun Day with Becky. Today we're going to do a card that I'm calling a flip-flap card. It was a card I saw on Patty Bennett's website, a card that she did with Sara and Shelli when she went to visit Utah for her $2 million celebration. She showed it to us. I took some real quick pictures. I had to figure it out all on my own. And this is my version. My class did the one she did with Sara, which I will share with you. But this is mine. And so I wanted to share this with you. What this does as a flip-flap card, as it looks like a general card with a window, and then you open it this way, and that picture that was through the window is there, and then you flap it down. I'll put it down a little bit. So in essence, this is a little bit like a tower card in that you have to come up with 4 cards. You have 1 layout, you have 2, you have 3 and 4. The other thing is you want to leave some space to write. This also would be great to put some pictures in, so like a little mini album. And so you could have something here, 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 and actually you could flip it over and put something on the back as well. Today I am using Eden's Garden, and the paper is Ever Eden. This particular bundle will be available on Tuesday, November 2nd. So if you find you'd really like to have it, I would recommend, it'll be my November host code by then, but contact me and I would be more than happy to place an order for you for this awesome bundle of new products. The dies and stamps will be in the next mini catalog, the January to June mini catalog. The cool paper that I'm using, the gems, and we have some cotton paper, will not. It's while supplies last. So if you want to contact me and tell me you'd like this, when I place my order on Tuesday, I will include you in that so you are sure to get that while supplies item last. Okay, so what are you going to need to make this card? Okay. First of all, it takes a full sheet of cardstock, the whole 8.5 by 11 piece. I have mine already cut, but I'm going to show you another color because I have another idea in mind. So you need a full sheet of soft succulent. The Ever Eden designer paper, which will be available on Tuesday, you'll need 4 different pieces. They're all 4 by 5 1/4. These are quarter sheets that are trimmed and have a 1/4 of an inch missing from both sides. So I used this pattern. It's got all of the one side has some kind of gold on it. And then it's got kind of a speckle on the back. But I'm using this side. I'm using what did I put it? 2 with a different foil. So there's that one. Here's another one with foil. It's got foil on it too. You want one without foil, although there is some on the back. And there's an ombre piece. I'll show you the paper in just a minute. And I kind of liked this for a little bit of a different look. So you need the ombre piece, okay? Then you need a square. I'm going to show you the piece I already cut out, which is 3 7/8 square for the doily. These doilies are actually from the Encircled with Friendship stamp set, and they're beautiful, absolutely beautiful. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dies. This one will cut out around this, which is what I did, or you can also cut it and it'll cut a back piece. So I've got this prepared already. So I've cut this out of my gold, and if you want to, you can mount it, isn't that cool, onto the background piece. So it's got a lot of dual things. When I started to play with this, I cut out, obviously, the gold, but I cut out the white, okay, cut out some white. I cut out an evergreen, evening evergreen. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And this is tone on tone, but would be pretty on the paper. So these are the Encircled in Friendship dies. I don't know if that's the proper name because I put them in my box. But here is the stamp set. It is in the annual catalog. I love it. But what's really nice is Stampin' Up! Then, and what I'm wanting to do with the piece I'm folding today, came out with Encircled in Warmth in the holiday, the July to December book. And so you have all of these, with the exception of maybe this one. Oh, nope, there's that great big one. These 4 fit in that die set, so you have multiple uses for your dies, as if they aren't wonderful already. And when I'm working with dies for the first time, I cut them out and see what they're going to do. I added some things in the center, and as I'm creating and playing. So this is a couple of them. Yeah, so when you get your dies, get to know them, I say, and that's what I did. Okay, then the rectangle is an actual 4 1/4 or quarter sheet, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Of course, this is 12 by 12 paper, and we do have the gold foil. And from this, I cut the dies that I'm using. These will be the dies that you can order on November 2nd. Part of the Eden's Garden. It's a distinctive, I haven't even used the stamps yet. Love this, love this. So it has some gorgeous dies. So we will be using, and that piece is for the rectangle. And there is another little rectangle. There is a label, like you can put words across the bottom. We're using a border. I wanted to show you how I used the border. Okay. And then I've already pre-cut some of, I call these sprigs. They cut out too. So it's nice. I frequently do sit down, like I said, and cut them out so I know. So this is part of the Eden's Garden bundle that will be available on Tuesday already, November 2nd. And then your last piece is, and I have a scrap here because you can see I cut the other one that I already used. And so you can cut this any width you want, but it's a border, and you need 7/8 by 6 inches. Then you need a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece for the labels on the inside, like yay. Okay. You'll need a 2 3/4 inch square of white for this scallop circle on the inside. You'll need the smaller piece, the 2-inch square, for the little doily in the center, and scraps then for these sprigs, as I call them. And then for my embellishments, I have some gilded gems. They're a little taller, so I only put them on the outside. I just felt like it still needed something. And then everywhere else, I used the genial gems. And so you can get a little better look of where we're headed here on the inside. That's where all those pieces go. Flip, flap. I don't know if that's what it is or not. I had, again, in my almost 25 years now, I had never seen this fold. So to make this card, I'm going to start with a different color. I'm going to go back and I want to do this with the gingerbread, the frosted gingerbread set. So I'm using real red, and you'll need either a score plate or your scoring blade on your trimmer. I want to kind of keep this here so you can see it. And what we're going to do is we're going to score, or you can just fold it. You're going to score the short end, get the cutter out of the way at 4 1/4. And I'm moving my camera, my apologies. And at 5 1/2. This just gives it a better crease. And then you're going to take that. So essentially, like I said, you could just fold it in half one direction and really crease it. I go both directions with it. And then you're going to fold it the other way. Okay. And crease that. Now, as I mentioned, I did a different version of this card at my class this week. And some of them, we're going to do a little trimming. So what you're going to do is you're going to take, you've got 4 quadrants. You're going to remove this lower left. And I've got that on there. Remove with a paper trimmer. Some of my ladies were not comfortable doing that. And so they used their scissors and then kind of regretted it. So get to know your trimmer that you use. I put the crease in the track that I can see. I love our trimmer in that the cutting blade has little arrows on it. And so you're going to pull that along that fold line until the arrow reaches the crease. We're going to turn it, line it up, start it at the crease, or let's start at the bottom and go back up to the crease. And you're going to remove this piece. You don't need it. Okay, and so I you might have to refold it, but this bottom quadrant comes up and this goes over. Now, if it doesn't want to lay flat, you might need to get in there and just do a little shaving so that the whole thing lays flat. Okay, so stay tuned. I will complete the real red one with the idea I have in my head. I am wanting to stay with my doily and use a pretty paper, one of our holiday papers, and use this white doily. So that's where my head's going. We'll see where I actually end up. Okay, so here's what you're going to need if you're going to do this card with a soft succulent, one of our new in colors. And the first thing you need to figure out and plan ahead and do is decorate the front. Okay, so I'm using this particular piece of designer paper. And I am going to, and I apologize, I use my Dotto all the time. It was a product that Stampin' Up! Had, and I still grab. It's one of my favorites. It's removable. I'm really rocking and rolling today. I apologize. Okay, so after you get the front decorated, you're going to cut a shaped opening, okay? When you cut, I'll grab the white one. When you cut the doily, you can't put it on the front and cut this out because it's going to cut out a whole image. So thankfully, we have a circle that's the same size as this opening in our layered circle dies. So what you're going to do is you're going to fold all this back. You're going to put your circle right there. And you're going to cut through all layers. Now, if you noticed when I put my adhesive on, I only went around the outside edges because I'm going to pull this piece apart. So I've learned to put my Stampin' Up! Cut and Emboss machine away from my camera. So I'll run this through. Remove my center and split this apart. I did put some stuff there, but you know what? I used removable, and so I'm going to need it later anyway. And this piece, save for something else if you need to. So there's my quote decorated front, okay? So from here on out, we build. So from here, I took my pretty gold doily, and again, this is a time where you can use your two-way glue, your multi-purpose glue. I call it green glue with my ladies, and a dauber or just a light coat on, or whatever you like to do with your delicate dies. This one I think would also work with our adhesive sheets. Okay, so I'm going to put that on the outside. This is so pretty. Okay, so now we need to go to the inside. And with the inside, I cut, first of all, I'm wanting to put this back in through the opening. okay? You could use the designer paper or whatever, but you're going to reinsert. So if you notice on my directions, cut a shaped opening, eventually you will reinsert this piece. And then you're going to create your 3 flaps, which, like I said, is almost like creating 3 cards. So what I'm going to do is I experimented with gold. I experimented with a, okay, so where's my seal, which I do love. Oh, here it is. I decided on the white scallop, okay? Because the paper inside, I decided, after much contemplation, I'm putting in a non-foiled piece. Oh, of course, it ran out. I thought I checked it. Okay, over to the old snail. So, don't you just love how this matches so nicely? Okay. And so then I'm going to put my removable, in case it doesn't work. I'm going to put this in the hole. Some dies fit better through the hole than others. Okay. Boop. Okay. Like this. And then I've already taken one of my doilies, and I've used the best wishes. I had it planned, and then I had to run around and decide my theme. So I grabbed the best wishes from the Artistically Inked, and it's embossed in gold embossing powder, which now is our metallics collection. It comes with copper, silver, and gold. And I like to pop this little piece up. Okay, and we're going to set that in the center and make it straight. I didn't do it straight on the doily, so the words go correctly. So there's, this one's done. This one's close to being done. I went and decided to cut out some of these sprigs, as I call them. I felt like it needed something, but that's just me. What I liked about this old dado is it doesn't leave all those little stray things in the holes. And I don't know why we quit carrying it. Probably not able to get it in the quantities, because you can still get pieces or replacements, refills and things. I used it a lot, still do when I do actually scrapbooking. Okay, so there's card number 1. You could just make a card that looks like this. All right, so this is layer number 1. All right, let's go into the inside then. And I decided to use, now this is a little darker version. I guess I should show you more of what the paper looks like. This is actually what that piece looks like. So you've got a really dark into the evening evergreen, and then you've got kind of a, it's ombre, it goes into the light. My sample, I'm in the light, and this one, I'm more in the medium tones. So that's one. This side I haven't used yet. I debated about it. It's got little gold dots on it. And then let me show you the others. I used these last week too, so if you watched last week, you'll see just how gorgeous these are. It's basically gold, evening evergreen, soft succulent, and white. So these are the Julie tones. They will be $15 a pack of 12 sheets US. See, you've got the splatter, you've got a couple other different things besides the ombre. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. So then I had to decide whether I wanted the ombre on top or the bottom. That's something that you guys can decide. See, look at this piece is on the other side. Oh, now that one's out too. Okay. And so then the ombre I'll put on the bottom. Like so. Okay, so then let's create card number 2. And I wanted to use this beautiful frame, and I had to decide between putting it on top of the gold or putting it down here. And I really decided I liked it better down here. And, oh, this is going to be fun without my favorite dado. Okay. So this is part of the Eden's garden. Okay. And then up here, I still had pieces to play with. So I have my border, and it doesn't snip at the end. So you have to snip it away. And I didn't need the whole piece. Okay. You could put it on both ends. You could put it down here. You could put it up here. I love borders and that you can do whatever. So this is actually 4 inches. Okay, don't need that piece. And you can cut, like I said, if you notice my sample, which I'll pull out here again, I have a much narrower little edge right there. And you can decide whether you want the pretty edge in or out. Okay, there's that. And then, like I said, I cut tags, labels, whatever. Love this new scalloped contour die set. I actually used this middle one. The scallops are larger than the stitch scallop dies. And then I used the next one. So we're going to go ahead. This is the one where you can write your message if you wish. I didn't want it too big because I didn't want to hide all that pretty paper. You can tuck it under there a little bit. I cut a couple sprigs that I ended up just kind of overlapping here. I use these cups in class all the time to pre-cut things. These are from Sargento's, like healthy protein packs. That way, if I get around to cutting things early, I put them in there and leave it. Okay, there we go. And now to finish this, it's kind of the same thing. I took this from the Peaceful Moments stamp set, which I had handy. This particular die is kind of interesting in that it splits. You can run ribbon under it, or kind of contrasting paper or whatever. And if you just totally ignore it and don't play with it, it'll stay nice and flat. So I'm going to add this. It's embossed in gold as well. This paper isn't quite as voila as, okay. So there's the basis of the card, okay? So to embellish, it was kind of like, okay, now what? So what I grabbed were the Genial Gems, and they are like a yellow or so saffron, I'm not real sure, and I think it's soft succulent, but I'd have to look for sure. And they've got glitter in it, and they're in 2 sizes. I like these 2 because they're a little flatter. So let's see, what did I decide to do on this side? I used the bigger ones, and I just I like bling, I'm sorry. If you notice, a lot of my cards are not very tailored, and I apologize if you're more of a tailored person. I have a sample of one of these cards with something a little more tailored. And then because you can see it through the window, I added some of the green up here. Okay, odd numbers, 4, 3, we've got 7. And then I'm going to open this. And I wanted something here. When it closes, you don't want too much bulk because it doesn't close real well. Whoops, I ran out of little ones. So I will grab another little one later. This is what I did. Okay, just put them in the corner. You could put some here, but I didn't want the extra bulk. And then I took a couple big ones and finished here, like so, okay? And so it's really pretty. And and like I said, I felt like this still needed something. You've got the little jewels here. And if you've got it, flaunt it, I guess. Oops. These are the gilded gems. They're 3 sizes, which is nice. I don't use this big size very often, so this was a perfect time to use the bigger ones. And I just put them in the 4 corners. Kind of tie all that. And there you have your Eden's Garden flip-flap card. And it goes this way. And it goes this way. Oh, I just love it. Becky Original. I try to do that in my videos, so it's something you haven't seen. I have not typed all these directions up yet, but I will, and I will post them in the bottom in my comment section. And I have 2 other samples that I wanted to share with you. One was the original that Patty Bennett shared that she did with Shelli and Sara. This has as the front focal point a piece of coordinating garden green, and then it uses the Christmas pine cone dies. I call this the detailed one because it is much more detailed. And you put it on, you let it dry, and you cut it out with some of the Christmas remembered tags. I love these. They're wonderful. They come in different sizes. They have words that go with them. And then it will also cut out all of the greenery, which I will show you in a minute. And so this opens like this. And you've got your 2 tags stamped in the sides with the Christmas season. Bold, delightful. Okay, so I used the greenery, or she did. I copied. Cased. And here again. So you took the 3 white layers, stamped all the corners, created, you've got room now here to write or place a picture. So this die then goes right through. This is part of the peaceful prints from Celebration. And then the center tag is popped. And then all those little cute little red rhinestones that come in such plenty in the package. And these are our gold leaves. Isn't that cool? And then a little bit of our sheer ribbon. Okay, so this is the one my class did and that Patty shared. And then my final card, I started doing the penguin. Again, this paper is retired. It was Celebration, but I know many of you have it. And so because I could see the penguin going more this way, I thought, I'm going to try it going flip, flap. Okay, so I actually took this piece and just repositioned it, but it's not the part that's like this. Okay, and so again, I've used the scalloped contour die here and ran it through our 3D embossing, our wintry 3D embossing folder in the annual catalog. A little bit of open weave ribbon from the Fresh Freesia. And stamped and punched. And yes, the punch isn't in yet. It's due. We're getting close to November. And I put him on a wobble. I love those little wobbles. And so that completes it. So I used some words from the Jolly Christmas set and added a couple of our pearlescent snowflakes. I think I may take this one off and put some white here. We don't have a place to put a message. This one then, and what you might want to do, like I said, that other card has 3 cards in one, and you could make any of them a regular card. But this one came as inspiration from this card that I did some time back. If you haven't caught this video, this is a new, to me, fun explosion card. And I do have a video from a couple months on that cute little. Used one of the penguins that was on the paper. So, flip-flap cards. Using Eden's Garden, I invite you to, if you don't have a demonstrator, to let me know, and I can get these items ordered for you on Tuesday before supplies run out. Hopefully they won't, but we've had things disappear in 2 weeks. So anyway, thank you for joining me again on a Friday. And I hope you have a great time stamping. Thanks.